Do you want to make video content but don't know how to start? Do you already make videos and want to get better? We might be able to help.
We are the 86th Floor and we're the world's biggest cosplay music video channel. We've been making videos since 2014 and if you haven't seen us, here's a bit of what we do. In this video, we're going to go through 5 steps that will improve your online video making or give you the confidence to get started.
So you can go from this to this.
Obviously, everything in this video is from our own point of view, and not everything will be applicable to every video you can make. However, we'd like to give you some tips that we think will help you make better video, probably make the production process a little bit easier, and hopefully have some fun along the way. Let's go!
We shoot our videos on a DSLR camera, specifically the Panasonic GH5. But if you're just getting started, there's no need for a fancy camera like that, because chances are you already have one. Your phone. Most phones these days can shoot up to 4K and they can shoot slow motion, and it's pretty much all you're going to need to get started. If you want to film in slow motion, you can either do this or put your camera or phone on 60 frames per second or higher.
Shooting on a higher frame rate allows you to take your footage into slow motion. It gives you a whole bunch more options when you're editing in post, and with some phones you can even go up to 240 frames per second, which gives you a ridiculous level of slow motion.
One of the biggest differences you can make to your shot is bringing some lighting into it, whether that's shooting near a window so that you get some natural daylight, or whether that's using an LED panel or a lamp from around your house. Having a well-lit shot will make such a difference. When using lighting in your shots, make sure that your camera or phone's exposure is set to manual so that you have control over what the shot looks like. Otherwise, your camera or your phone might decide that your shot is going to look like this. That's not what we want.
Sometimes your lighting can be too harsh, in which case it's time to diffuse. And we found that one of the biggest tips possible is to either have a reflector or just a whiteboard on set to allow us to bounce light off, bring a little bit of light into shot, or just block that light with a sheet or something different to allow you to shape that light and see what kind of shot you want. Diffusion can make all the difference in the world and make your shot a lot more flattering.
Depending on the kind of shot you're trying to achieve, you're probably going to want to use some sort of stabilization. The shaky handheld feels works for some shots, but other times you're going to want to use a tripod or a gimbal. A tripod is a great piece of kit to have. You can buy little phone stands that go on top of them, which are great for making TikToks, or you can just put your camera straight on top of it for a locked off shot. Just like this one.
If you want to take your stabilization to the next level, you can invest in a gimbal. A phone gimbal will cost you as little as $99, and for camera gimbals, they go up substantially in price depending on what you want. What you choose to spend is obviously completely up to you. However, it will give you very smooth fluid footage, but you will have the disadvantage of somebody else will have to operate the camera or you won't be in shot. Tip number 4 is going back to tip number 2, which is even more lighting. Bringing a single light into your shot can illuminate and change everything. Bringing 2 or 3 lights in can make it even better.
If you want to introduce a specific mood into your lighting, then gels are always a good idea. People use these on TikTok quite a lot to create character or atmosphere, but you can use them in any context just to make it look cool.
A pack of gels can be bought from Amazon for around $7 and they will transform your lighting. If you attach them to an LED panel, you can bring a red, blue or pink wash to the background of your scene, instantly giving you a different mood. As one of the cheapest ways to change up what you're filming, I highly recommend them.
Once you're done with the filming, it's time to edit. Editing is one of my favourite parts of the filming process because it's where you can really refine your video and tell the story that you want to tell.
Drop your footage into Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve or your editor of choice and cut the footage however you'd like it to be. Once that's done, you're ready for colour. As a very first step, I would say go for a white balance. This can take your footage from being too yellow or too orange down to a much more human level. This restores skin tones and makes all of your footage seem much better. If you want to go beyond this, you can bring more light into your shot or bring more shadows or highlights in. This will add contrast and dramatic energy to whatever you're working on. If you want to, you can go one step further and grade your footage. You can add a LUT or some other filter on, which will give a very specific mood to whatever you're shooting and help you kind of really hit that tone you want to go for.
If you're creating content for online platforms such as TikTok or Instagram, you can edit straight in the app, but I would recommend taking that footage into an editing program and just giving it that extra time and that extra love to make sure that what you've got is exactly what you want to put out into the world.
Once you've finished your video, you want to make sure people see it. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok are all incredibly crowded, and you want to make sure all of your hard work doesn't go to waste and that you stand out. Here's some of our tips on how you can do that. Tip 1, make sure your audience know what they're getting. Write your description as clearly and simply as possible while still being attention grabbing. Tip number 2, see what's already trending in the area that you're posting up to. Whether it's hashtags on Instagram or trends on TikTok, try and find out what your audience are already consuming and make sure they can enjoy this as well. Tip 3, put your best content first. You can't rely on the audience going on a journey with you to get to your high point. Put your best shot, whatever it is, right at the start. Make sure they've got a reason to hang around and keep them there. Tip number 4 goes beyond post-production, which is just make loads. You're not going to know what works until you've put lots into the world, and then you'll get the feedback and actually go, this is great, and also you might find stuff that's more fun to do. Tip 5, don't worry about the algorithm. If you talk to anybody at the major social networks for content, they don't talk about an algorithm, they talk about an audience. Whatever they're doing in terms of audience development, the algorithm follows that, not the other way around. They try to serve people what they want to see, so always try and serve an audience rather than try and optimize for an algorithm that you don't know what it's doing. Unless, so I've just said ignore the algorithm, and that's not always true. The one thing I would say is that if you're making 18 plus content, you may not reach the widest possible audience, regardless of how good it is. Almost all platforms will have some age gating, and they'll want to keep controversial content from younger viewers. And you may need to accept that if you're going to make content that's controversial or slightly edgy, that you may not hit the widest possible audience. What I will say is please don't change your art, but just be accepting of this. Make whatever you can as well as you possibly can, but just know the ramifications and the borders of what you're doing.
TikTok is fast becoming a hotspot for original video content. I spoke to some popular TikTok creators about their experience on the app and asked for their tips and tricks with regards to becoming a TikToker.
Hello, I'm JJ Pyropi. I have been cosplaying for about 16 years. I've been a TikTok creator for about a year and a half or so.
My name is Mythicality Cosplay. I go by Myth. I've been using TikTok for about 2 years, I think. I make cosplay videos.
Hi, I'm Emberwolf or Emberwolf Cosplay. Most of my social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok are Emberwolf Cosplay. I mainly do cosplay, however I do occasionally do other things such as fashion blogging and stuff like that, but the main idea is cosplay.
I got started on TikTok. It was just the same way you get dragged into any new social media. My friend was like, you have to make a TikTok account. And I was like, oh, great. Like another one. I mean, to be honest, I was pretty enthralled right away because like I had been so bored with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and just the same like, oh, you know, post an image, hope it does well. And TikTok was like really new and exciting. And like the creative possibilities were very stimulating. Good lighting. I know it's boring, but like good lighting is everything because you can have a TikTok that's like the best idea in the entire world. But like, first of all, TikTok reduces the quality when you post. So you're already gonna have a reduction in quality. And if your video is grainy, it's just not gonna do well. Like TikTok is so about the aesthetics. Like you can have a video that's just like somebody doing some cool things with their hands and like some transitions and not much is happening in the video, but if it looks cool, it's gonna blow up. If people can't see what you're doing, none of the rest of it is gonna matter, and you can put all this hard work in and it's just not gonna look as cool as somebody who did something really simple but well lit.
With TikTok, a lot of the aesthetics of the video kind of make a difference. So I would make sure that you have a background that doesn't have a lot of clutter in it. If you can get like a plain wall to use, that's always a good point.
So if you're new to TikTok, I definitely recommend having a play around with how you record and stuff, because even to this day, I find TikTok recording very tricky. You'll probably see a lot of people doing different transitions and being very smooth with it. And even to this day, I still struggle with that.
The thing about TikTok is that it is extremely driven by trends. However, the beauty of TikTok is that the more you put your own twist on a trend, the more likely it is to take off. Because there is this obsession on TikTok with, oh, here's the new trend, let's jump on it. And that works. You know, there is a formula to it. There's a new trend, you jump on it, your video is gonna get a certain amount of traction that it wouldn't get otherwise. If you do something clever with the trend, or you subvert it somehow, or you make your own twist on it, you're adding this awesome dimension to it that people are gonna usually think is interesting and funny and like it and share it, which is now the biggest thing on TikTok. You want people to share your video.
Memes are always a good way of getting on the For You page. They often have like the challenges and things like that, and the trending hashtags and stuff. When you're first starting to kind of get out there and want to make a following, definitely use those. That was how my videos ended up on the For You page in the first place. And from that, you can start branching out, but it's always the trending audio is like obviously trend on the For You page. Doesn't matter what's actually in the content, they will be more likely to be shown.
Don't sort of set your main goal to be noticed, otherwise you might not have as much fun. I've been lucky, I feel, but always be yourself, always have fun, try your best. One of the things, just to go a little bit sort of on the more serious side, try to ignore the trolls, because unfortunately I feel like TikTok is the worst app for trolls on occasion. So just be if you do come across a troll that's just commenting to just be mean, literally just ignore them. They're just looking for attention, that's their goal. So just make sure to block and don't let it bring you down.
I had wrote all of my friends and said, guys, we have to make this TikTok. It's this new social media thing. This video, I had this idea for a video. It's gonna do well, trust me. And it was, there was a dance where you would have one character start off and they would do this little motion with their hands, and then one by one, the characters would jump in and continue the dance over the course of 15 seconds. So we had the 4 seekers. It started off with one, and then we would each jump in. And so there's a video where, and I did post this as a blooper, it starts off with this, because it's Harry Potter, it starts off with Harry in the middle and he's doing the dance, and then I'm supposed to jump in and I'm coming from this side and I have to get over onto Harry's other side. And let me tell you, you just see this blur of blonde and green just come flying in the background, land for a fraction of a second before just catapulting into a somersault on the ground. And I may have actually peed myself a little bit from laughing so hard, because just this image of just this Draco Malfoy just launching off the side of the screen and tumbling into frame. And then, as I like to say in the video, nothing was harmed in the filming of this video except for Malfoy's pride.
I do bloopers a lot, and normally sometimes I'll post bloopers because it shows the reality of recording. The other day I was doing a trend, a dance trend, because obviously TikTok is known for its dance trends, and I was doing a dance trend, and literally towards the end you can see me break out of character or acting whatever, because a neighbour looked up at my window and saw me, and I was just there in the middle of dancing and that was pretty funny.
I was dressed as Metaton, and I'd been trying to do this dance for about half an hour, and if it wasn't my light messing up, it was me forgetting the dance moves, so I was just getting more and more frustrated. And then I finally had it. I was on the final take, and my husband popped in with my Bendy and the Ink Machine axe and was waving it in the background. You can see the pure anger on my face. I just turned to him just get out.
And you know what? A word of advice, post your blooper videos. They're fun. People love them.
We hope this has been helpful and that you'll be able to take what we've shared and apply it to your own filmmaking. If you have any more questions, then don't hesitate to get in contact. Thank you to all the creators I interviewed for this panel. Don't forget to check them out because they all make amazing content.
We need to say a massive thank you to ReadPop for allowing us to run this panel and be part of their online convention. We're very, very grateful. We also can't wait to be back at their events very soon, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you there.
Thank you so much for watching, and happy filmmaking!
We were kids on